If you enjoy videos like this, subscribe to the channel before the video starts. The corridor of the spaceship was silent. Only the soft hum of the engines filled the air. Captain Ryan walked carefully, his boots making a dull echo on the metal floor. He had been on many missions, but this one felt different. Something about it made the hair on his arms stand up. A sudden beep came from his communicator. A holographic message appeared in front of him. It showed the face of Commander Varek. His sharp eyes stared directly at Ryan. "Ryan," the commander said, voice serious. "Your next mission is critical. You are to protect an alien Geisha named Lyra. She is extremely important. Do not fail." Ryan raised an eyebrow. He had heard of alien Geishas before. Legends said they were mysterious, beautiful, and powerful. But he had never met one. And he had certainly never been assigned to protect one. "Understood, Commander," Ryan said. But inside, he felt a flicker of doubt. Why him? And why now? The message ended, leaving Ryan staring at the empty corridor. He shook his head and moved toward the transport bay. His heart beat faster. He had a feeling this mission would not be simple. The transport pod opened with a hiss. Inside, a single figure waited. She stood perfectly still, almost like a statue. Ryan froze for a moment. Lyra was stunning. Her skin had a soft glow, and patterns of light moved gently across her arms. Her hair flowed like liquid silver, and her eyes seemed to see right into him. She did not speak. She did not even move when he stepped closer. Yet, Ryan could feel a strange pull toward her. It was unsettling. Suddenly, the ship's alarms blared. Red lights flashed along the corridor walls. Ryan grabbed his weapon instinctively. He looked at Lyra. She tilted her head slightly, almost as if she understood the danger but was not afraid. Ryan guided her into the transport pod. "Stay close," he said. Lyra nodded very slightly. Her calmness was almost unnatural. As the pod left the spaceship, Ryan studied the readings. Enemy ships were approaching fast. He had no time to think. His job was simple: keep Lyra alive. But already, he felt that the job would not be simple at all. Lyra finally spoke, her voice soft, melodic, and strange. "They are coming for us," she said. Ryan blinked. How did she know? And why did her words send a shiver down his spine? The pod shook as it passed through a field of asteroids. Ryan gritted his teeth, trying to focus. One thing was clear: this mission would test everything he had. And falling for her, that was never part of the plan. But as he glanced at Lyra, he realized something: this mission was already changing him. Something about her was different. Something dangerous. And as the stars passed by the pod's window, Ryan knew one thing for certain: nothing in his life would ever be the same again. The unknown waited ahead, and he had no choice but to face it. The transport pod landed on a barren, gray planet. Dust swirled around as the hatch opened with a hiss. Ryan stepped out first, weapon ready. The air was thin, and the sky glowed with a strange, pale green. He glanced back at Lyra. She moved with perfect grace, her glowing patterns reflecting in the dusty wind. "This place feels wrong," Ryan muttered. He had visited dangerous worlds before, but this one was different. Every shadow seemed alive, every sound too sharp. Lyra didn't answer. She simply walked beside him, silent and steady. Suddenly, a low rumble shook the ground. Rocks skittered across the surface as if an invisible hand had pushed them. Ryan spun, aiming his weapon. Nothing. Then, a faint shimmer appeared ahead, a cloaked figure watching them. He tightened his grip. "Stay behind me," he whispered to Lyra. She didn't move back. Instead, she stepped slightly forward, as if daring the watcher. Ryan frowned. He had never seen anyone human or alien move like that. Without warning, the shimmer vanished. But the feeling of danger remained. Ryan scanned the horizon. "They're testing us," he muttered. "Someone wants to see if we can survive." Lyra finally spoke, her voice calm but clear. I can sense them. They are close. Her eyes glowed brighter, and Rian felt a chill. She wasn't just beautiful, she was powerful. Hours passed as they navigated through jagged canyons and crumbling ruins. Rian noticed small things about her, the way her hands moved, almost like she was controlling the air around them. She helped him avoid traps, warning him with gestures he barely noticed at first. By the time they reached a hidden cave, Rian was exhausted. He had protected people before, but never like this. Protecting Lyra was different. Every move she made felt deliberate, almost hypnotic. His heart began to betray him, beating faster whenever she was near. He shook his head. Focus, Rian. This is a mission, not whatever this is. That night, under the pale green sky, they rested. Rian kept watch while Lyra seemed to meditate, her patterns glowing softly in the dark. He watched her, trying not to let his curiosity and feelings take over. Then, without warning, she whispered the truth. I hold something they want. Something dangerous. Her voice was quiet, but every word hit him like a hammer. What do you mean? Rian asked, leaning closer. She didn't answer directly. Instead, she looked at him, her glowing eyes reflecting the stars. Trust me, she said. If I fall, the worlds fall with me. Rian swallowed hard. The mission was no longer just about protection. It was about survival, secrecy, and something far bigger than he could imagine. And yet, as he looked at her, he knew the hardest battle might not be with the enemies outside, but the feelings growing inside him. Because falling for Lyra, that was never part of the plan. But now, it was unavoidable. The sky of the alien planet was ablaze with streaks of red and orange as enemy ships descended like birds of prey. Rian tightened his grip on his weapon. Beside him, Lyra's glowing patterns pulsed faster, as if she could feel the danger building. They're here, she whispered. Her voice was calm, almost haunting. Rian glanced at her. She didn't seem afraid. Instead, there was a strange determination in her eyes. Suddenly, laser fire erupted from the cliffs above. Rian dove for cover, dragging Lyra behind a jagged rock. The ground shook with explosions. Every instinct told him to keep moving, to survive. But he couldn't stop staring at her. She was different, more than human, more than alien. She was something he couldn't explain. Rian, listen. Lyra said, grabbing his arm. I can stop them, but I need your trust. Rian hesitated. He had been trained to follow orders, to protect her at all costs. But trusting her completely? That was dangerous. Yet he saw no other way. He nodded. Do it. Lyra closed her eyes, and the air around her shimmered. A wave of energy shot out like a pulse, knocking enemy drones off balance. Rocks flew, fires ignited, and the attackers screamed in confusion. Rian's jaw dropped. He had never seen power like this. But the cost became clear. Lyra's glow began to dim with every pulse. She looked weaker, exhausted. Rian realized that protecting her now meant helping her survive this fight, not just shielding her from harm. Rian, she whispered. I cannot do this alone. He stepped forward, placing himself in front of her. Lasers struck near him, but he didn't falter. You're not alone, he said, his voice firm. I'm here. Always. Together, they fought as one, Rian's skill and Lyra's power combining in perfect harmony. Enemy ships fell, one by one, until silence returned. Smoke rose from the planet's surface. They were alive, but barely. Rian fell to his knees, breathing heavily. Lyra knelt beside him, her glow faint but steady. For a moment, there was only silence, just two figures on a broken planet, looking at each other. You could have left, Lyra said softly, a small smile on her lips. And missed this? Rian replied, trying to smile back. Not a chance. The stars reflected in their eyes, and Rian knew that the mission was over. But something had changed. He wasn't just her protector anymore. He was something more. Someone who cared, someone who had chosen. The distant horizon glowed with a new light, signaling hope. But orders, missions, and the universe itself could wait. For now, Rian and Lyra had each other. And falling for her, well, that had never been the plan. But plans were meaningless when the heart had already made its choice.